afternoon. Some of you have already seen my newest item that I've added to my Etsy. Now, I printed this off on just regular cardstock. I want to show you, let's see, here is my Etsy store. It's etsy.com and my name is Pam, one stroke. It's $1.50 is all. Now these are the colors. You'll need to go back and write these down if you want them. $9.89, $9.12, $10.96, $9.08, and then the purples are in $9.56, $10.08, and $9.32. That's if you want to do it in these colors. I think it turned out nice. The greens might be a little bit too yellowy, but all in all, I'm very happy with this. This is my first grayscale photo. It is a photo that I took myself. I'm not lifting anybody else's work at all here. So let's get started. I am using Prismacolor Premieres, and that's what those numbers were for also. I'm going to do this one in some pinks instead of in the purples. So the colors that I've pulled, and you know I'm always up for changing the colors as I need to. This one is 1018, and then my next darkest is 993. Then my next one is 994. And then to get those darkest deep darks is, you know, they've done these in such a way that sometimes I have a hard time reading them just because I have so much light on. I believe that's 924. Yes, 924. It's crimson red. Yeah. Sorry, I want to make sure. I don't want to give you a wrong color. All right. Okay, when you're doing grayscale, and I've tried to do a picture that is going to be very easy for you, especially if this is your first time out, the darkest dark, go ahead and put it in your darkest areas. Okay, get it tucked down in there. So whatever color rose you pick, put your darkest shade down in here, getting lighter touch as you come out. See how it's fading as I come out. Okay. Like I said, this is going to be very easy. Once you've paid and downloaded this, you have my permission. You just go ahead and print it out 2 or 3 times, whatever you need, and have fun experimenting with different colors. This is a page I've especially made just to really help you play with color and to learn where the darks are and how to do a grayscale picture. I know a lot of people are afraid of the grayscale. They just don't understand how easy it could be done when it's so dramatic when it's finished. And so that's what I'm after today, is to teach you that. Okay? I don't know how many parts this video will be. I figure it'll be a couple at least. But we're just putting the darks in and then fading as we go up more to the lights. Okay, just fade it out. Little circles, just fade it out. You don't want any great lines in there. Okay, this one, this whole little triangle is basically dark. There's just a little bit to the right of that triangle that's not totally dark. So I'm going to take it and do just mainly this corner. This little strip, it's dark. Okay, this down in here, this is dark. And there is a very definite line that comes up through here. So just go ahead. Now here, it fades out, but then your line's back again right here. Your line is back here. So now here it's a bit of a fuzzy line, so don't fill it in quite as much. I know a lot of people are, well, I don't want to pay for your downloads, I'll just watch. And if that's good for you, then kudos to you, go for it. But I just wonder, could you be learning more if you were following along? So just something to consider. That's why I looked on Etsy and noticed that a lot of coloring pages were like $3, $4, and $5, and I've seen some that were even more than that. And I know I'm just starting to make my name on Etsy again because it's been a while since I had put anything out there. But I really feel like $1.50 for something where you can learn grayscale without buying a whole book is really not a bad deal at all. Okay, so you're watching. I'm just going in here and doing these darks. Now these are some spots that are on the rose, but they're still going to be dark. And some of these vein lines, those are dark. So just put those darks in, fading out. Okay, fading out a little bit as you go around. And to fade out, I just do a lighter touch. This is a pretty solid line through here. Okay, this one is very, very sharp line in here. And then coming out, you're going to fade. Okay, so when you do grayscale, you can do like what I'm doing this time, with all of your darks or lights together at one time, or you can do a petal at a time. Go in and just maybe do one section. All right, I'm choosing to do it this way this time just to show you there are different ways of doing it. When I did the one for Nicole Stalker, I did it per petal. Okay, this time I'm doing it all at once. This is that bud. Okay, let's come back down here and look. See that bud? So that's what we're going to get down into now. Whoops. Let's move that back out of the way. So you're going to look, this is a shadow from this. So this has got a very definite line in it for now. Let's put that in. This is really dark. It's part of your bud. All of this in here is that green piece that comes up over. Okay? This is a piece that green comes over. Last time I painted this as part of the green too. Do you see that? This time I'm going to change it up a little. I'm going to make this a green piece, this a green piece, and I'm going to have some of the rose showing through here. Now, the reason I'm doing that is to show you that even if you do your piece different from what the original one is, that's okay. All right? It's not a big deal. As long as you're getting your lights and darks in, see, all of this is dark through here. As long as you're getting those lights and darks in there, your picture is going to turn out just fine. All right? If you have problems with this, leave your comments down there. Let me know. If it comes out just fine and you're pleased, then let me know that too. You know, I need to know either way. Are you able to follow along with this? Did it work for you? Is there something that maybe can be done a little differently to help you through it? But my object lesson here is that you're not afraid to come in and do these grayscale pictures, because they're really not that hard, not at all. Now this in here is very dark. I'm trying to keep those soft edges by doing the circles. All right. Let's move to let's do the lightest lights. Excuse me, I'm still fighting a cold. Good old Texas weather. Yeah, it's in the teens and 20s here. I can only imagine what that means for other parts of the country where it's normally cold. You've got to be having blizzards. Okay, so this is my lightest light. So everywhere that it's showing up white, I'm going to put this color in. Doing circles as I get over close to that medium or that next shade. Okay. I did pick 4 colors for this one. For the picture that I showed you before, the purple one, there's only 3 of the rose color that I picked. Only 3 purples. I just did that so that it would be easier for you to get your darkest darks in there. Okay, see how we got lighter as we got over closer to the next shade of gray. That's why it's a grayscale. You're looking for those different shades of gray. If you'll stay in your circles, it's going to be easier to blend these together in a little bit. And that's when a lot of the magic's going to start happening. Yeah. And I wondered when I started in with the one in purple, I was like, how's that going to be? But I think it turned out fine. And you could make this whatever color you wanted. If you end up doing it in yellow, you're going to need to use some yellow ochre or light tans or browns for these areas. If you do it in white, same thing. You're going to have to use some grays to pull out these other colors. Okay. Just doing all the lightest lights now. Everything that looked like it was almost white on the page. That's what we're doing now. So really we're going through and laying down all of our base color. Now here, it's a little bit more shaded. So I'm going to go ahead and do this top area here. But then as I come around, I'm going to go ahead and just let it get softer touch. Much softer so we can blend in the next shade. All right. A little bit more right here. Coming around here. Okay, you see how that's working? Now, do you see this line right here? It's really light. I'm going to have to turn this, sorry. Okay, turn that around so that you can pull coming down. It's a whole lot easier if you'll turn your page so that it's more comfortable for you to draw in those lines. And there's not, see, I was coloring solid there, but if I turn, I see there is a point. So that's what I'm doing, is getting that point and going up next to that line. And that's how I'm getting that color in there without having to go back and sharpen my pencil again. Because the less I can sharpen my pencil, the longer that pencil is going to last. Now there's just barely any white right there, but it does come up and then back down. And that's where this little flip comes in. All right, remember when there's a flip, it's lighter on the edge of the flip and darker on both sides. So we've got the dark here, and we'll do medium in here some. So this should really help you to see where your darks and lights are. See, there's some light in here. A lighter touch. There's some light in here. Let's turn it again. We're going to do a lot of turning this time. You can do it. See how this comes up? It's got a little color to it, and then that white starts in. That white is where the shine is on the top of the edge of that petal for that bud. And then as we come in here, there's more white, and then it's going to get darker. And here's white. So anywhere where we've got that really brightest white, that's where we need all of our light. Okay, let's do some more. All of this in here is light. And I was thinking about just starting this with you and then letting you finish it on your own, but I'm not. I'm going to do the entire rose with you, or rather you may do it with me. When we get to the background, I will show you how to do that and probably let you go ahead and do that on your own. That background, because it's a blurred background, is going to be very easy. Easy peasy. I think you're going to enjoy it. I tried to make my pages so that they're almost effortless, but when you show them, there's a lot of pop and wow factor in there. There's a little bit of light coming through here. I'm being a little bit careful that I am keeping some ovals going, but as far as going one direction, because of those ovals, I'm not having to watch that too much. You'll see me every now and then go the direction the petal is curled, but I'm not overly concerned about that yet. When we start blending colors, then we will be. All right? But as long as you're getting those soft edges or following the structure of the petal, then you're going to be okay. See, now I'm trying to soften those edges so I can blend the next color in a little bit. All right, let's come and look back over here. This in here is lighter. Now there is some deep right back in there where that petal is flipped, so we're not going to go in there. There's a little bit of darker in here, but all down in here there is some light. And by doing it this way this time, I'm going to make it easier to blend those colors in a little bit. Okay, so just try that technique if you've not tried it before. It's just a little pull and flip. And I'm trying to do those kind of curved so that it will actually look like it's going down into there. And see, this one curves this way a little. And there is light across this back, across this ridge. That's where the light's hitting it. And then the top portion of this, now this is dark, but this in here is a little bit lighter. And once you print yours out, you're going to be able to see the lights and darks easier than what you see them probably right here on the screen, because it'll be right in front of you. Okay, now let's go and let's tackle this side. Oh, and I see some more lights in there. So I am just going to do some circles just to bring that light out just a little bit more. Okay, there's a little bit of light right here. Okay, that looks pretty good from what I'm seeing myself. Now there is, do you see this edge right here? It's like the sun is just kissing the edge of that. And I know I want to blend it just a little, so I'm going to put just a little bit of circles along there, just so we have a little something to blend into. But yeah, that whole edge was light. Okay, now then, let's go over here. And I've just got an old coloring book underneath just to give me a surface to be on. almost all of this is light, but then you get into veins. Can you see the veins on the petals? Is that going to focus for you? Now we'll put some of those darker veins in later. For now, let's just go ahead and get this lighter area done up here at the edge. Lighter as we come down, lighter touch. Lighter touch. That way we're leaving some tooth in the paper for the next color to grab onto. If you do it so solidly the first time through, you're pushing all the tooth out of that paper, and your next color is not going to have anything to grab onto. It's just going to sit there on top and not really blend in at all. Getting right up there to that edge. Grayscale is so forgiving because if I get out of the line, I mean, you can't really even see that. So, very forgiving. I'm going to get lighter as I'm coming down. Some circles so I have something to blend into. Turn. Make it where it's comfortable for you. If you can't get to it easily, you're not going to be doing as good of a job as you could do. I've often wondered if we took a grayscale and just did it in one color, would the grays underneath give it all the different colors that we need? But I'm thinking it probably would not. Now I'm going to go ahead and go into that. Look how that blended. Isn't that cool? Oh, wait till we get further along. Okay, I've got my lightest lights in and my darkest darks in. Now, these next two colors are going to be really bright. This could make it or break it. I may have to start over. We'll see. So now I'm going with the next lightest area. You see, like in here and here, that's going to be this shade. Ooh, it's bright. So keep a light touch. I'm probably going to go over the whole thing with my lightest light to help me blend. So jury's still out on how it's going to look, but I think it's going to be okay. Just don't get too dark too quick. Okay? So now we're doing all of the lightest of the two shades of gray that are left. Okay, this is darker, this is darker. We go back to lighter here and then darker here. So let's get some of this lighter in. This is actually a shadow right here, I believe from this or from this being flipped over the top. It's probably from that being flipped over the top, the more I look at that. Okay, so we did that. Now in here, this is the middle shade. And then here's the next dark shade. So let's just go across here, get this shade in. And we haven't even started blending yet, and look at that already. Okay? I'm going to go a few more minutes, and then I'm going to stop the video and start a new one so that you don't miss a single thing. Okay? Doing all of the middle shade, or the second lightest shading. Does that make sense? We're doing the lightest of what's left. How's that? The lightest of what's left, yeah. And see, in between all that we did before, that's this shade here. Some of this is still a little bit dark, so don't fill that all in. Then here. And see, down in here it's darker. So just do part of this. Then the next petal, turning as you need to. Turn so that you can get to it. This whole top area, but then down here's a little darker. So do your circles. Telling you a whole lot's going to happen once we start with the blending. Okay? And that's where you can use your colorless blender, or you can come in and use your lightest shade of pink. I'm going to probably be using my lightest shade of pink just because that's what I normally like to do. Okay, we'll put this shade right next to the other one. And then down in here is going to be the next one. This goes in here. And yeah, by all means, watch me go through it once, then go purchase your page, because then you're like, oh wow, maybe I can do that. And then come back and follow along coloring the second time. And you can use any colored pencils with these. I just chose my Prismacolors because I know that that's what most of my viewers are using. All right? But yeah, if you keep your lights light and your darks dark, you could even do one of these with regular old Crayola pencils. Yeah, why not? Okay, getting those lights done. Now, everything that's left should be the exact same value when you squint your eyes. You should have nothing but the same shade of darks left. So if you see anything that's a little bit lighter, go in and tag it real quick. Now I should just have one shade left. Now I see here that this is darker than this is. So that tells me I'm going to come back in with my darkest dark and do a little more of this. Okay? Not a whole lot, but a little bit. I'm going to keep it kind of light, but I do need to come in here with some of this. Light meaning a lighter touch, so that when I come in with that soft pink later, it can all be blended. Okay, but this is darker than this or this. Now as I come up here, it's getting a little bit lighter, so now I'm going to fade it out so I can come in with that other color. Okay, so now we're ready for that third color. This is the 994. Woo, that is bright. I still think it's going to be okay. And if not, it's saved in the computer and start over. You know, not that big of a deal. It is pretty though. It was a beautiful rose. Oh. Just a little one that was, I have miniature rose bush in my front. I believe when I planted it, I lovingly said, oh, we're going to call this the Renee bush. My daughter's middle name is Renee. It's so funny. I've got a friend that names all of her bushes. I have several friends that name their bushes. I don't think it's that much of an oddity. I just hadn't realized it before. Well, almost all of my bushes have died over the years until I started to name. And this one is still going strong out there. It puts me out just little baby miniature roses. Mother-in-law got it for me one year. And I just love it. Gives off the most beautiful pink roses. Okay, I'm just going to keep going here, trying to get all this filled in. But you know what? We're fixing to need to take a stop. We're going to need to pause so that you can make sure you're caught up. And then we're going to come back. When we come back, we'll finish any of this up that we haven't gotten to. And then we're going to start the blending. And my friend, that is where the magic really starts happening. Okay, so at this point, all we've been doing is laying down the ground colors. Just laying down those initial colors. They're overlapping sometimes, but just a bit. We've still got plenty of tooth showing through. There's plenty of white spots still poking, or gray spots, still poking through. So if you've not covered yours, don't worry about it. Mine's not covered either. Okay, just coming in and making sure everything is finished up now with some color. Okay, just making sure it's all filled in. And then we'll get to start blending in a little bit. That's going to be fun. Okay, I have a feeling we probably need to stop. Just go ahead and do anything that's not done, and then when we come back we'll blend. Okay, so I'll see you back here in just a few minutes. All right, just going to color till it times out. And really all I've got left is this right here, and I'm finished with this step. Like I said, the next step's where it's really going to get fun. Going just a little darker next to those first areas that were so deep and dark. Forgot about this. It's all right, it's all this one shade.